This band X has been through so much over the years. Obviously, even breaking up at one point, and yet here you are. What do you attribute this kind of longevity to?
Tenacity and still caring, love, caring.
Oh, love, or you know, it's the best band around, kind of, in a lot of ways. Still, I mean, there's not. I don't know. I don't think the Los Angeles music scene is as strong as it used to be. So I think there's a demand for a band that actually has songs and plays well and has something going on and some kind of legacy, rather than just some band trying to get signed or something.
Why do you think the Los Angeles music scene has taken this decline?
I think mostly there's a thing called the death of ideas that's part of a process of evolution, where people run out of ideas. And I don't think it's just LA. I think it's pretty much everywhere.
Right.
Depends if you're talking about sort of major game or like the good game. Because I think there's plenty of great records put out, but they're all on independent labels.
Right.
And
Did you
and
guys?
the major game now is you don't have to worry about, because it's all form over content. It's like, do you look good? Can you sing? Well, that's okay.
Right. And the machine's
fix
behind
that.
is behind the
Yeah,
whatever record it is.
Not to be cynical about it. It's just it's obvious that models are singers are like models now. And it's weird. I mean, it used to be like that was the whole deal. Barbra Streisand looked weird. Cher looked weird. They didn't look like models. They were attractive, but it's weird. It's strange.
Did you guys expect that in the beginning to last this long? Did you think X would still be around after 20 years?
I don't think you really have any idea. Probably not, but you never know what fate holds, because you could be huge and then be gone, or you could be like us and not huge and stick around, or you could be not huge and just say, I can't take it anymore, I want to do other stuff, or which luckily we do have other stuff that's not just X.
Right.
And I think that makes us appreciate X when we do it.
Back in 1996, when you guys had, I guess, officially broken up, Exene, you did. There was a statement from you in the LA Times where you said, "It's done. We had such a bond, but the band had evolved too far away from its punk roots."
Right.
Where do you think the band had evolved into? What had happened?
I think we needed to have Billy back in the band, and when he wanted to play again, then we could play again. But without Billy, I didn't want to play anymore, because I just had songs I wanted to do and a sound I wanted to have that was more like the original sound, and it was really hard to get that back. So we had to stop playing. And if Billy hadn't come back, then we would never have gotten back together with Tony or Dave or anybody.
That was the
I just
turning
wanted
point.
the songs to be like the punk rock versions that were on the records, and that I didn't want to have to stand around for like an hour while someone played a guitar solo. You know what I mean?
When the band finally did come back together, I guess it was 1998. Was it magical? Was it exactly the way that it was before? After
it was,
four
it was
years
a little
of being
it was a
apart,
little
so-
rough.
Yeah.
It was exactly like what happened when Kiss got back together.
I think that we evolved into something that some people heard first and totally loved, but it didn't sustain, I don't think.
Right.
I don't think if we had stayed in the sort of no depression direction that we were moving towards, the more roots oriented and stuff, then maybe we would have become, if we would have done that even more so and really left the sort of punk rock stuff behind, that would have been a possibility. I mean, I've talked to plenty of people, not just fans but other musicians, that's like the first thing they heard was "See How We Are,"
Right.
and they thought, wow. Or maybe it was the second thing, and they thought, this is incredible that they're changing, and still maintaining, their integrity and what have you. But I think Exene's right that, nowadays people want to hear punk rock, go to hell kind of music, and that's what we're here for.
Were there any regrets upon the breakup, like initial regrets? Did you think you'd made a mistake, or did you know that was the right thing to do?
What breakup are you talking about exactly?
Well, when
When Billy left the band, or
No,
when Tony quit the band?
when Tony quit the band.
Oh no. You mean regrets about him quitting, or regrets
Well,
about not
when the
playing?
band, when X basically disbanded, when you said there
Well, I
would be
just
no more
didn't-
X for now.
I didn't want to do it anymore, so I didn't have any regrets.
Same
it
for you,
definitely
John?
it definitely gave me pause. It's like, wait a minute. You know, after we made this decision, it was like, wow, this is gone. I'm really not going to play that again.
But you know-
that was weird.
It didn't matter because the next day in the paper it said that the Geraldine Fibbers were the new acts and that they were going to be the next. Was it the Geraldine Fibbers? No, not the Geraldine. Was it? Yeah. Oh yeah. The next day it said, Geraldine Fibbers inherit the mantle of acts, and so then we were immediately replaced by them. But now I don't know. Maybe we've replaced them now because I don't think they play anymore. That I've seen anyway. But,
So now we're the next Geraldine Fibber?
Well, sometimes the LA Times is, the rock critics have been, I know this is really hard to believe, but sometimes they're wrong.
I can't
Crazy
believe
talk.
that.
What are you
Crazy
saying?
talk.
That's a harsh reality, though. That you, as you stick around long enough, you realize that it's not what you do. It's when you come in line,
Right.
when your time comes. It has nothing to do with whether you've made a good record or not. It's just who's next, and it happened to us. It happened to, say, the Replacements or Husker Du or whoever's next, and that's a strange thing because you feel as though you're doing sort of the same thing. It is different because you've done the first record first.
Right.
If you were to do, say, the fifth record second, it would receive all this attention, but that's okay.
Who can guess where
Where,
the trends are going to go? It's
Everyone,
kinda like,
everyone works on their second act. The second act of America.
As solo artists, is there a difference in the way you guys each approach your work as opposed to the way you work together?
Well, we don't write any songs in X, so that doesn't exist, so we can't talk about that. No, we haven't written any new songs in X for a while, so...
Why is that?
I don't know why. I want to. Anyway, and make a new record, but Billy's got a recording studio, and he's making a 70s style recording studio. And he's putting shag carpet and all this stuff, and he hates the 70s. He hates 70s music. He hates the fashion. He hates everything about it. And he was telling me about how he's going to get these like swag lamps and this shag carpeting and this old 70s couch. I said, Billy, why? You hate the 70s. He goes, I know. I go, then why are you doing it? He goes, because I want to rewrite musical history. He wants to put people in the 70s studio and then like make something good from it. So we have the studio. All we need is the songs, but I have a band called Original Sinners that I write most of the songs for. I co-write with my the other person that plays guitar, and then we do the knitters sometimes, and do lots of spoken word things. I like collaborating with people a lot. I like writing songs with people.
It brings a little more to the project for you to if you have somebody to bounce ideas off of.
Yeah, I guess you could put it that way.
It's certainly less lonely, but that is not always better. I think not having to write for X for me was pretty liberating, because there's a pretty strict boundary as to what kind of songs will be accepted by the people that glorify and idealize the whole era of punk rock. So even up through the fourth record, I mean, by the time we were writing songs for the fourth record, it was kind of like, well, what do we do since we're not playing at the Mask, or we're not playing for the same people that we always played for. But once Exene and I sort of decided, well, this is not going to work out, it was totally liberating, because you could just write for the hell of it, write anything you want, slow song, use a drum machine, whatever the hell you felt like doing. However, there's a couple of songs that Exene and I've written that have not been released yet. I've recorded, I put words and music to a couple that were on that Rhino record, and there's another one that I did, and so hopefully we'll do some more.
I think a song like White Girl or Blue Spark or Year One or Your Phone's Off the Hook, though, if you can write a song like that nowadays, I think people would just be amazed, because if you listen to the radio now, either the really underground stations like the KPFK, KCRW kind of stations, or any kind of college, or K-Rock or Watch MTV or something, and listen to a lot of the women that are making music now, it's very atmospheric and very, like, there's a lot of techno stuff, there's a lot of beats, there's a lot of ethereal kind of stuff going on, but no real structure, not a lot of verse-chorus stuff, which is one reason also why I think bands like Green Day were so great, is because they had songs, and that's what I think that our fans started to like lose interest in us more when our songs became more, had less impact, like verse, chorus, bridge,
Right.
2-bar solo, not 16-bar solo or whatever. And then out, and it was like a point, it was to the point, you could have like 13 or 14 songs on a record with things like that. And I think that, I don't like ballads personally, I like punk rock songs, and I like that early X stuff better, it's just what I like. So that's the kind of record I would like to make, and whether or not fans like it or not, I don't know. I mean, I would assume they would like that more. But
Well, it's needless to say. I mean, all those songs that you mentioned, they're all timeless. A lot of most people, especially fans, believe that those songs will endure forever.
oh, they will.
And so you feel that your music, though, is relevant. The X music is relevant today in today's.
The old songs?
Yeah.
The oldest songs are the most relevant ones, and then the ones we most recently wrote, I think, are the least relevant.
How
But
did
that's
that
just my
happen?
opinion. I just think it's I don't know.
Living the life.
I just think that, yeah, I think we had more, I think we were more honest about what we were writing about in the beginning, and we were caring about it more, and then later you just write songs to write songs, and you become a songwriter, and, you know, I don't know. So there's that. But I don't know, because this is all rock critic talk anyway. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just like writing, like saying these things, I don't even know if I mean any of them. Except for those songs being good in the beginning.
Right.
It was, all those songs were born out of discovery, invention, and experimentation, and doing the unexpected, which is experimenting, you know, discovery. And it was relative to the life that we lived. I think that losing that sense of discovery is kind of death. So.
Is it?
Yeah, but you know what a lot of people do? They make a mistake, I think, is this. Well, I did that already, so I can't do it again, even though it's the greatest thing I've ever done or ever will do. I've got to do something different, otherwise I'll be letting people down. So I'll do something different, whether they like it or not. And I think that is like really like weird.
Yeah, but the different thing has to be equally important or heartfelt. You know, it has to have the. No, it has to have the
It
same.
isn't really heartfelt. It's
But it has
also
to
like,
have, but no, it can't be. It can't come from an intellectual. I'll do something different. It has to come from an intuitive, inspired. Wow, this is going to be different. You know what I mean? What you're saying is an intellectual exercise.
no, I'm saying, yeah, exactly. I'm saying doing that is an intellectual exercise. I'm saying what you're inspired by and what you naturally do, that's the greatest thing. That if you can keep that feeling, it's better than just having to keep switching to do something new.
Yeah.
Just because you're afraid you're not going to be considered new.
After, like what you were just saying, that what's important is to have that sense of discovery. Is it possible after so many years creating and writing songs to get back to that place, to that original place where the songs were so fresh and
You're not supposed to leave. You're not supposed to have to get back to it. You're supposed to stay there. That's the hardest part, as everyone knows about being an artist, whether you're a painter or a writer or anything, is to not ever to have to leave that place.
Do you think you've left?
Well, I think that people do leave naturally. They can't. You'd have to be God to like, you know, it's like when someone does their first movie and how everyone says it's the greatest thing, and then they do their first record, it's the greatest thing, and blah, blah, blah. It's like the shock of the new is so important to people, because then everyone rips you off, and then what you do the next time doesn't seem quite as new. But
You just have to have your life in. You have to have your life go to hell. You have to feel it. You have to. Yeah. I mean, unless you've figured out a way to base your creativity on positive experience, which I don't know how to do, but at least I'm able to enjoy life more.
Right.
But
eat out more often.
wanting to
Enjoy life.
wanting to kill yourself and getting to that point is really great for songwriting. It's not necessarily good for your life, but
No.
having your life go to hell and having your life in chaos or having your life in a bad space gets you back to that point of discovery and humor, oddly enough. because when you're the blackest, it's usually the funniest.
How do you balance that though nowadays? You say that you're not necessarily, or are you suffering to create?
Yeah.
The stuff that you write.
Yep.
You do.
Every time.
Every time.
Yep.
Wow.
But that doesn't mean that my life is suffering. I think people are wimps. I think the audience are a bunch of fucking sissies. Because they listen to Elliott Smith, or they listen to somebody who sings a sad song, and they think, oh, that poor guy, they're so fucked up. Well, yeah, they were at the time, but so what? They go out and they have a beer and they enjoy life and they do their thing, and everyone takes it so fucking seriously. It pisses me off. It's like, so do you think Billie Holiday did nothing but do junk and like flog herself with a cat o' nine tails? No, she had a great life in this sad sort of way.
How should people take that kind of music? Then?
They should take it, and they should take it to heart, and they should feel it, but they should not extrapolate on it like someone goes around with their nose on the ground their entire life. It's like, yeah, it's very serious, but there's a balance to it. That's just when you wrote the song. You feel like shit when you wrote the song, and then you feel better,
right?
Because you wrote the song,
right? Exene, do you think you need to suffer to create? It's just different. People approach it in different ways.
No, I think that good things happen and bad things happen, and you can write about both, and it depends on what you feel like writing about at the time.
Right.
Sometimes it just depends on what I'm not going to be miserable just so other people can make money off of me.
Right. What do you guys think is the biggest misconception about X?
I don't know.
that we were not great songwriters.
Oh, I think people think we were great songwriters. I think they thought we didn't have a sense of humor.
So there you have it.
There you have it. That's two very interesting
That's two very
answers.
concise questions.
I think they think we have to suffer too much, and we don't really have to suffer.
What do you
I think one of the other misconceptions was that X never had a chance. I think that there were a lot of roadblocks and a lot of barriers, but X had so many opportunities to hit the big time, and I don't think hitting the big time is necessarily good. I don't think that.
So it wasn't necessarily that you missed the opportunities; it's that you guys chose not to go that route.
No. I think that whatever head space the audience was in at the time, and whatever help we had at the time, just wasn't there. The time was not right.
Right.
But fuck, we were on American Bandstand like 3 or 4 times. We were on, national television. Had big record companies and all that kind of crap. We had tons of opportunity, and I think it's probably for the best, not to end up like a sort of flash in the pan.
Right. Is there anything you'd do differently in terms of X if you could change something?
Of course you would, but why even go into it? You can't.
Yeah.
That's fair.
There are regrets, but there's no
gonna
changing
talk
it,
about
so
it.
what the hell?
Sure. What do you guys think is the most offensive thing about pop music today?
What do you mean by pop music? Do you mean Britney Spears and NSYNC, or do you mean like what's on K-Rock, or do you mean
popular music,
techno
top
house
40 music, top for the whatever what the people are
Okay,
buying.
does that include? Okay, would that include Celine Dion, or would it be Smashing Pumpkins, or you know what I mean? Top 40 is a pretty broad category.
Let's say
We should either concentrate on the stuff that adults can listen to and say, oh, that's pretty good, or there's so many different.
True, it is.
The most offensive thing to pop music is there's no delineation between, anything. It's like, R&B, hip hop, pop, plop, 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 plop.
Right.
It's just nothing that I would listen to really, so I don't really know. I don't really have to think about it that much. It's not anything I would.
I think the most offensive element to pop music is its limitations. The limited playlist, the limited, which is not just radio. It's everybody feeding into the same thing. That it's so limited, and the kind of, the fact that, what's his name, Fred Durst is going to the Playboy Mansion. That just revolts me. It's like, what the fuck,
What
pop, musicians doing sports things, If you want to do sports, do it on your own fucking time, Just go do it.
But I don't think that stuff intersects with me in any way, so I don't have any.
Yeah.
I don't really. If Fred Durst wants to go and go to the Playboy Mansion, I say then he should. that's what makes him happy. It doesn't have anything to do with me. I don't.
Right.
But it encourages.
Why do I care what he does?
Yeah, but it just the thing that pisses me off about it is that it sort of encourages this attitude towards a life that I really detest. You know, that being, you know, the girl on the beer poster is something to aspire to, or, you know, being the big dumb jock if you're a guy is something to aspire to. You know, I'm in a rock band and I'm the leader of the rock band and I'm a big fucking dumb jock that treats his girlfriend like shit, and then I write songs about it. It's like, what's your fucking problem, man? I mean, just, you know, do the right thing. Don't just, you know.
Do you think people in rock bands that are in the spotlight, do you have a responsibility to behave or to be a role model for the kids that are interested in your band?
Not necessarily.
No.
I would stop short at that. I think you have to be, you know, you present yourself and people are attracted to it.
Right.
That's it. But
Yeah.
just do what you do and.
yeah. It's just
Can't really
it's
think
it's
about
that whole form over content thing I was saying. You know, it looks good, it sounds good, it feels good. That's enough.
Right.
You know, it doesn't have to mean anything deeper than that. And that was, I don't know, somebody much smarter than us, like Marshall McLuhan or, you know, Buckminster Fuller, that said that.
Right.
Form over content.
So I know what's next for X after these few dates that you're going to play here for us at the House of Blues.
Well, we could play forever if we wanted, I think, but we're going to do some more shows this summer. I think we should make a record. That's what I think we should do.
John?
You know, X is just going to keep playing. I don't know.
Can we hope for a record maybe in the future?
I don't know that I write punk rock songs anymore.
Right.
You know, my life
I don't
isn't.
think
My
Blues
life
Park was
isn't.
a punk rock song, was it?
No, but it was a rock song, and rock songs, if you have a whole record of rock songs, then it's just a rock record. You know? I like rock.
So what we're going to do first is we're going to continue on with our 10-year discussion of semantics that John and I have been having, called punk rock, songs, subcategories of what we're talking about.